Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just realizing I'm sitting in the dark. Give me a second to turn on my overhead. There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the chat. We're just here to hang out a little bit today. Chit chat, see what comes up, do a little bit of readings, do a little bit of manifestation advice. Just have some fun, kind of hanging out, getting to know each other. Building a little community here. Really like the way that it's going so far. I always have the nicest people come into my room and hang out, and the best clients in the whole wide world in general anyway. So it's not really a surprise that my room would be filled with wonderful, wonderful people. Right now I'm just clearing cards, getting them ready so that we can have some fun in here with the tarot. I like to do the original reading with the tarot deck, usually. And then any clarification readings, generally, I like to do with my Lenormand deck. So I'm going to clarify that deck too while we wait for people to get in the room. And then after that, we're going to do our first traditional spread, which I like to start all my live streams with, which is what is our best manifestation advice over the next 24 hours? What would that be? Let's find out. Everybody who is watching this, whether you're watching on video later or whether you're watching right now, I apologize for that noise. But also, please be thinking about what is it you would like to manifest so that we can get some of that energy in the deck as I shuffle for that particular spread. All right, best manifestation advice for us. What should we be doing over the next 24 hours to manifest what we want to into our lives? Let's take a peek. Boo, ba-da-doo, doo, 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 doo. Isn't this interesting? This is very similar to what came up on my Facebook live stream. Usually they're two pretty different advices. So we start off with the Six of Wands in reverse, which talks about the idea of appreciating the people on the project, the things that we're working on that are doing the behind the scenes work, the kind of work where nobody is paying attention to them. They're not really getting a lot of credit. We want to show appreciation to them. And if we're doing the behind the scenes work, we want to recognize that for ourselves even, that this is an important part of the process. Then with our Page of Cups in reverse, this is letting somebody know literally how important they are to us, how much we actually care about them. And it's really interesting because all that leads to this up level in our level of stability and security. So I don't know if stability and security is what you're working on creating, but that's where this leads us. So empathy, welcome back. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the thumbs ups, guys. Glad you're here. All right, so I'm fantastic, my dear. How are you? I had a little scare this morning. I'm so glad that's over. I was a little overwhelmed. Well, happy birthday. Yay. That's awesome. Do you have any special plans today? Remind me of your first name, honey bunny. You'll see. You're counting on other people to make your birthday plans for you, I see. Tell me your first name, honey bunny, and I'll do a little reading for you. Eliza. Okay. So, Eliza, here's the thing. This is a special day whenever it comes to astrology. This would be what we call our solar return, when your sun returns to the exact degree that it was at whenever you were born. Okay. So You can check your solar return chart in astrology, and it'll give you an idea of themes that are going to be happening throughout the year. So because it's your birthday, I'm not going to check your chart. That would take too long and that would be too boring for everybody else in the room. But I will throw tarot cards and I'll see what 3 of the themes of your year are going to center around for you. J.O., hello, hello. I hope I'm saying your name right. You've been depressed, actually. Well, if you look at the astrology, not hard to see. Plus, we're coming up on a partial solar eclipse. Everybody that I know has been emotional the last few days, like big time. It's John in English. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to try to remember that. My first brother's name is John. He was born almost 2 years after me. Okay, so let's look at 3 sort of themes for your birthday. Show empathy. So this is going to be themes that will be playing out over the next year. I'm just still putting down cards. Okay. All right, so here's what we've got. Your first idea or theme. I'm actually using the Lenormand to kind of clarify what area of your life this is in. This has to do with people, I'm going to say, because my first card talks about conversations. These are repetitive conversations, sometimes even aggressive conversations. They're conversations about what path to choose. What way do I want to go? Okay. Maybe even literally, where do I want to go hiking? But I don't see that for a repetitive conversation. I mean, maybe you would know, you would recognize in your life if that's happening. But there's some kind of repetitive conversations about what path to take. All right. Now, when we've got information around this, got this idea that there's somebody in your life showing up as a King of Pentacles, which means this is going to be, could be a man, could be a woman. Court cards, the gender doesn't really matter in tarot. But this is going to be somebody who's really down to earth. They notice textures, they notice flavors. Those types of things are important to them. They like to have things that, you know, are of good quality. They're also a lot of times very careful about how they spend their money. They're secure, they're stable. This is not going to be the most exciting guy at the party, guy or gal. This is going to be somebody, though, that you can really rely on. They're very dependable. They will tell you the real deal about how things are, and you can count on whatever they say. You can take that to the bank. Now, that is one of the people that we have showing up in your themes, and this theme has to do with these repeated conversations about what direction to take. So there's something about this person where there's a truth coming out that has to do with this person that was not there before. And so part of the theme of the year will be that truth kind of floating up to the surface where it can be seen. And with the Ace of Cups, this tells me, because I'm looking at that side of the Ace of Cups as opposed to this side we're seeing the front, daylight, That side, we're seeing the back, night. To me, this implies history. It's the past. So this just basically says that this information that's coming out has to do with history, and it has to do with something that this person did in the past, that once you find out about it, I think it's going to change your opinion about this person, which is going to have a big impact for you on deciding what direction you actually want to go. Even after all of these conversations, at the end of them, the truth that comes out is going to be this thing that actually makes the determining factor on this decision about, and this is a decision about something you want to do today, like in this year, in the current time frame that I'm looking at, which will be from today until your next birthday. But it's going to be something that happened in the past that you find out about that makes you decide, I'm not so sure that this is the path I want to take. Okay, so this could be, deciding if you want to partner with somebody business wise. This could be deciding on a fiance. This could be anything having to do with a person where you're making a decision about whether you want to move forward with them or not. Yes, really. Do you recognize the situation already on your birthday? You're trying to get over someone. Lots of conversations about what path to take. I'm going to say this doesn't imply so much getting over somebody. This implies more about trying to make a decision later on about whether you want to move forward with somebody. And it might be romantic, but I can't guarantee it. Now, the next theme that we're looking at is very interesting. I think it has to do with some kind of addiction or obsession, and there's supporting cards for that. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But this first card, my coffin card, is one that talks about something not being well. Okay, doesn't talk about someone being dead normally. Normally, it just talks about something being sick. And you can put this in all kinds of contexts with other cards. This could talk about somebody's finances not being well, but something is not well. And we've got the ring here. The ring talks about some kind of commitment, or it talks about some kind of cycle. I'm going to tell you that when I first started looking at this, what really hit me psychically is that this is some kind of cycle. And I think it's an addiction. I think that either you or somebody in your life has been trying to break some kind of addiction. And instead of actually getting away from it, it's like you or this person can get away from it for a while and then it comes back. Okay. Now, the thing about this is that if this is a theme for this year, then this is going to be continuing on. You're going to be dealing with it, and we're going to see more about it later. And if this isn't you, if this is somebody else that is really trying to get rid of an addiction but struggling, like going through that revolving door with it, on the wagon, off the wagon, then for them to show up in your spread about your year tells me that there's some reason their choices and what they do impacts you in your life as well. So there's some reason to be aware of it, or this would be about you. But I don't want to just say it's definitely just about you, because that might not be the truth. And I don't want to put you out there, like on Front Street, if that's not exactly it. So let's be realistic about what I'm looking at. All right. Now, when you're saying, oh my God, do you already recognize that situation too? I haven't even got to the last three cards. Now, with the tarot, what we have coming up is a really nice one. The tarot shows the devil in reverse. This is what tells me this is probably an addiction or an obsession, but I think probably an addiction that somebody's having trouble with round and round. They're going round and round with this thing. Okay. Now, when the devil comes up in reverse, this says we've put that behind us. We're done with it. We have given that thing the 1-2 knockout punch, and we're not going back to it. Okay. When the devil is in reverse, the devil's been defeated. All right. It could be a cycle. If you have a toxic bond that you're going in circles with, that definitely could be. Now, with that devil card, I think you're going to be ending that toxic bond. It is interesting how this shows up though. You've got the 7 of Cups after that, which says there's lots of ways for you to end that toxic bond. There's also lots of options in front of you. Sometimes getting our mind off of something helps us move forward to something more healthy, as long as we're choosing something to focus on that is healthy. And that could be what's happening with the 7 of Cups. Also, if you look, he kind of looks like he's juggling these cups too. So it may be that, you're trying to do a lot of different things to get beyond this bond. And this may be more what you were talking about earlier, where you're trying to get over somebody. Okay. All right. Now we end up with the 10 of Swords. And well, the finances was just an example to say, the coffin can apply to anything. It doesn't mean that somebody's kicking the bucket, because people see the coffin and they automatically think someone's kicking the bucket. So I wasn't even saying that necessarily applied to you, and probably not with this combination, but just to give an example so people didn't flip out. Now, last card, we have the 10 of Swords. This is putting something to an end that has been a long-term source of contention or tension or debate. Okay? So I think that you are putting this toxic relationship to bed finally. Finally. I have seen the 10 of Swords flip over and come back again before, so I'm not sure there. But with that devil in reverse, that's a pretty good indication that if within this year isn't the last go around with this situation, it's coming. It's coming, because you're getting ready. You're getting stronger about it. Now, thank you guys for all the thumbs ups on this video. Also, if you like to get readings like this, then you definitely want to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you want my weekly predictions, you want to sign up for my newsletter. I do weekly predictions for every sign. So Eliza, looking next at the last theme that we have showing up for the year, we start off with the Heron. And for me, the Heron is an upgrade. Okay, so something is being upgraded. It's a fortunate card. And then what we have covering is some kind of contract or document. So we have a contract or a document that's being upgraded. Now, this could be as simple as renewing a lease, but with the upgrade thing to it, there's got to be something that is better that is happening with it. So this may be like, okay, I'm getting a promotion at work. Could be. I don't really have cards here that tell me exactly which area of life this is happening in, but it's somewhere where things would be official with the way this letter is on here. And the letter is obviously wax seal, so this is going to be something that's official. Whether it could be through the courts, it doesn't have to be. It can be through work or any other number of things, but where you have an official, maybe even you upgrade your education and you get a diploma, that would be a document. Okay, or a certificate. Now let's look at this. I want to look at my other cards around this. I think it might be. It's kind of, I'm not so sure though, because we have the Strength card coming up here. Okay, so Strength card can have to do with health. More often for me, it has to do with self-esteem, self-confidence. And when it comes up like this, it says that my health is in a good place, or my self-esteem and my self-confidence is in a good place. A lot of times they're tied together. Funny, I was just talking to somebody about that earlier. Now, self-confidence definitely is in a good place. You have the Fool card showing up in reverse. This says that I'm really thinking about what I've been doing to improve my self-confidence around something. And I've questioned whether I should move forward with it or not. Maybe it seems daunting or overwhelming, but I've decided no, I need to keep moving forward with it. And with the Four of Wands, this talks about the idea, I just need to be more objective about this thing, about upgrading this document. I just need to be more objective about it. And I can't let other people influence my thinking here. I need to look at this with my business hat on, basically. So I don't do that for everybody that comes into a live stream. You got that just because it's your birthday. You also need to know that if you want an actual reading with me, if you sign up for my newsletter, then you get a 40% discount as long as you book a reading during your birthday season. Okay? And if you want to sign up for my newsletter, you do that on my website. My website's in the description box below. All right. So let's do some more readings for some more people. Thank you guys for the thumbs ups. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think we've all got a big year ahead of us for sure. All right, so we've got 5 people in the room. I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 10, and I'm writing it down. I'm putting a circle around it right now. Whoever puts that number in the chat next will be the first person that I read for today on a regular non-birthday reading. You're quite welcome. Number between 1 and 10. Tanya, if you guess the right number, you might be the next person to get a reading. 6 is not it. 2 is not it. 5 is not it. Anybody else want a reading in here today? Keep guessing till we get to the number. 7 is not it. By the way, hello, Tanya. Let's see. 3 is not it. 9. Okay, Mr. John. 9 is it, my friend. Joao. So, where are you watching from, John? I've been curious since you walked through the door. You are the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. From Portugal. Okay, yay. Well, I'm glad you're here. All right, so here's the deal. Because I don't think I've seen you in my room before, so I'm going to explain it all to you. You have a choice now because you won. I will put down 5 cards for you. So you can ask one specific question, or you can let me look and see what Sacred Spirit would like to talk to you about. Either way. If you have a specific question, then you just put the specific question in the chat box. And when I say specific question, people try to write in love life or career. Those are not specific questions. I expect a full question like your English teacher would make you write. Or you can just go for a message from Spirit. And if you want that, you just write message from Spirit in chat. And then I let Spirit check let Spirit pick the topic. And we just go from there. How's everybody doing today? While we're waiting for John to write. How are y'all? Misha, thank you for saying happy birthday to show empathy. All right, so here's the deal, guys. I have this crazy symbol. It's a little heart at the bottom corner that won't move. So I'm going to put in a dummy message so that I can read all of John's message. And that just happens to be my website. You can check it out if you want to, but I really want to be able to read John's message. So will Patricia make a move to be my girlfriend? Let's find out. Let's find out. Usually I hear the girls asking about that. Will Patricia make a move to be John's girlfriend? Yes or no? Yes or no? Boop-a-da-doo-doo. I'm going to say no, but for the short answer. Okay? So here's why I say that. Based on technicals, I've got a nice solid no here. All right? However, when I look at these cards, we have some interesting things happening. First of all, we have the 6 of Wands. This says that Patricia really appreciates you. She can see that you do things that not only benefit yourself, but also benefit her and maybe some others as well. And so she appreciates that. So that's a nice thing. Then we have the Page of Cups showing up. And the Page of Cups basically says she's going to be letting you know how important you are to her. So isn't that kind of interesting? And then we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, which basically says she's not in a very secure or stable place in her life right now. And we also have the Nine of Cups also in reverse. She's not very satisfied with something in her life. She's not finding a lot of satisfaction and happiness in something that she has going on in her life. Well, what is that, you might ask? Well, guess what? It's the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles has to do with work. So she's not feeling very satisfied or fulfilled with her work. She's feeling kind of insecure in her life in general right now. I think those two things are what is kind of slowing her back from actually making a move to be your girlfriend. So she appreciates you. She thinks you're a great person. She's probably even going to tell you so. I would say she's going to tell you so with that page, actually. Let's take probably out of there. But I think even though she thinks that you are, a really great person, I think she also thinks she's got some things going on in her life that she needs to get under control before she considers putting somebody else into that picture. All right. Well, we love to hear the crazy stories around here. Inquiring minds always want to know. All right, so let's see how many people are in the room. We have 6 in the room, so we're going to pick a number between 1 and 12. I'm writing it down and circling it right now. Whoever puts that in the chat next or first will be the next person I read for today. Number between 1 and 12. You're quite welcome, John. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know next time I go live. Eventually, I'm going to put some videos on this channel, but for right now, I'm just straight up going live all the time. Anybody in the room that wants a reading, we want a number between 1 and 11 in the chat. And if somebody, or I should say a number between 1 and 12 in the chat. And then whoever puts the number that I've already written down and circled in the chat first will be the next person that I read for. I'm starting to think nobody else in the room wants a reading. I'm going to give it a little time for the delay. We'll see what happens. 4 is not it. Yay! 8 is not it. 2 is not it. Boopity doo 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 doo. Jennifer Davies coming in hot with the 11. You got it right off the bat, honey bunny. Jen Davies. All right, my dear. Do you have a question for me right now, or do you just want a message from Spirit? All right. Let's see what shows up. Jen, I had total drama right after I talked to you. I got a phone call this morning saying that I had missed a court date where I was supposed to be a material witness, but I had signed a summons saying that I would be there. And so now there were these citations against me, supposedly, for not being there, and they came up to being like $12,000 plus in fines. And I could pay the fines to freeze the citations and then get a handwriting analysis done, and then I would be refunded my money once they saw that it really was not me who signed for this summons thing. Or I could just spend 3 days in the slammer and then appear before a judge and get a court date. I was panicking. Turns out it's a scam. And when I called the county and told them what was going on, they're like, no, ma'am, this is a known scam. I was terrified though. I've never had like that kind of legal trouble where I would have to go to jail. Yeah, I had never heard of it before. But it didn't really make sense because they said they were calling from Jefferson County and the area code on the phone was 407, which is not local. But it wasn't until after I got off the phone with her that I was like, wait a second, this doesn't make sense. And unfortunately, I gave that person some really sensitive information. So now I'm going to have to be on the lookout for somebody stealing my ID because I wasn't thinking straight. I was in shock. Yep. Let's see. So, Jen, what do we have for you? We have the Six of Wands showing up in reverse. Well, yeah, that's how I found out it was a scam, is I called the county because they said they were calling from the county. I called the sheriff's department and he said that's a known scam. He didn't ask for their phone number. He didn't ask for anything. Probably because they rotate through phone numbers, I'm guessing. I don't know. How would they protect me? Like, I didn't even think about that because what are they going to do? Those people already have my information now. I'm going to have to wait until something comes up now and then just fight it, I think. That's how I think this works. Anyway, so Jen, Six of Wands in reverse, covered by Five of Pentacles also in reverse. So this just really talks about doing some behind the scenes work that people really don't recognize that you're doing, at least not yet. Eventually, once this is completed and accomplished, then it's going to benefit not only yourself but other people. But for right now, there's not a lot going on where people actually recognize that you're doing anything. And with that Five of Pentacles in reverse, this basically says that even so, doing this allows you to feel more like you're more involved in the community and gives you a little bit of a breathing room in your budget as well. So very interesting. I guess the Pentacles could be health. If I'm looking at it in that way, then this is doing some things that this is making sure we're doing things that help us health-wise that maybe other people don't have to do or that we don't realize, that we don't realize that you're doing behind the scenes. It's interesting how this comes up though, because whatever this is you're doing benefits not only you, but also other people as well. So it could be that by feeling better, you're benefiting not only yourself, but others. So I'm not sure which way this is playing out, whether this is health, whether this is adding to your finances, or whether this is adding to your social life, but you're doing some kind of work behind the scenes here. Now, best advice or heads up around this comes up as the back of our Emperor showing up in reverse. There are some things that you just don't have control over, and it's important to be able to recognize that. Seven of Swords coming up in reverse, and also the back of this. This talks about actually coming back to that realization that some things we just don't have control over. And then the Eight of Wands talks about this idea of lots of communication, lots of information coming in. For me, I have the Eight of Wands show up like right before I get really busy work-wise. So it's interesting how this shows up. It basically talks about doing things behind the scenes for work that are going to improve work in the long run. Helps you to feel better, whether you feel like you're more involved in society or whether you're actually making a little bit of money while you're doing the behind the scenes work. But all of this is tied into the idea that even when it comes to the work, you're not in control of everything. And that reminder of, yeah, I'm not the one in control of everything. Then we start to see all this activity show up. So I think you're kind of remembering, hey, you know what? I'm not in charge. Spirit's got the big picture. He's the one who shows me to the clients, all that good stuff. And then as you remember that, then that's when things start to really get busy. I don't know if you want them to get busy right now, but that's what we have showing up on the board. You're quite welcome. All right, so we only have one person in the room now. All right, well, I guess nobody needs a reading because I probably already read for you. Thank you very much, though, for being here and for keeping me company. It's you guys that come into the room that make me really enjoy doing these videos. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and peace out.